breathing is gonna massively improve your health. It's gonna improve your sleep, it's gonna increase your VO2 max, it's gonna improve your blood pressure, it's gonna reduce allergies, it's gonna reduce sleep apnea. There's a whole range of benefits, and I'm gonna dive straight into them.
But for someone like you, now you know the benefits of nasal breathing, right? And
well, just the cardio benefits alone was crazy. It's like I gained 10% cardio instantly.
By watching this video, I'm gonna give you an in-depth breakdown of all the benefits and how you can improve your breathing today. Okay, let's start off with the mouth. It's estimated that 30 to 50% of the population are mouth breathers. Now, even if you don't think you are, you're probably still using your mouth to breathe too much, especially at nighttime. And this is having massive consequences for your health.
About 25 to 50% of the population habitually breathes through their mouths. And they don't realize the neurological problems that this causes, the respiratory problems this causes, problems with snoring, sleep apnea, even metabolic disorders. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
The act of simply breathing through your nose will increase your VO2 maximum from anywhere between 10 and 20%. Did you know that your nose is actually a great filter? It filters out bacteria, pollen and dust and anything else in the air, and it only takes your nose 15 minutes to clean it out. Your lungs are terrible at filtering out these foreign invaders. It can take between 60 to 120 days for your lungs to get rid of them. Oh God, that sounds disgusting. When you breathe through your nose, it slows down the air. Your sinuses add nitric oxide in, it conditions the air to be the right temperature, and it humidifies the air. This all means one thing: your lungs now have air which are perfect for oxygen absorption. Everybody can improve their breathing. Even James Nestor on the Joe Rogan show stated that his breathing was not great. If he can improve, you can improve. Okay, I'm going to discuss 3 signs that you're a bad breather and how you can improve upon that. So the first, of course, is mouth breathing. If you are breathing through your mouth, that is a bad thing. It's okay to do it every now and then, like when you're talking, but as general, your habit should be to breathe always through your nose. The second sign is when you wake up at night. Do you feel dehydrated? Do you have a really dry mouth? The reason is you're breathing through your mouth. If you breathe through your nose, this moisture is not lost. The third sign is loud breathing. When you're in your ideal state, you should not be able to hear your breath. You should not be able to hear. If you can, then you need to sort that out. I hope you're getting great value and you're enjoying my video. If you are, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn the bell notification on. Cheers. Okay, so now we know all the benefits, but that's useless if we don't know how to improve our breathing. The first thing to point out is that breathing is an exercise. It takes time to get better, so when you first start to hold your breath or when you start to breathe slowly, you might have a sudden urge to have a gasp of air. This is because of the rising CO2 levels in your body telling your brain to take a gasp in, and your body is not acclimatized to the amount of CO2 in your body. Over time, your body will get better at handling the amount of CO2 in your system. This is why divers and people who can hold their breath for a long time have no problems. Their body is acclimatized to the rising CO2 levels. Okay, so when we're stressed, what happens? We start to sigh, irregular breathing. We start to breathe faster. We breathe through our mouth, not through our nose. We don't breathe through our diaphragm, we're breathing in the upper part of the chest, and the breathing is not consistent. The Buteyko principles are the opposite of this, and they tend to come when we're relaxed. So there are 4 principles to the Buteyko breathing, and the idea is that you practice these all day. So the first and foremost is breathe slowly. Make sure you breathe consistent and regular, always through the nose, and breathe deep into the diaphragm. Okay, so another great exercise, if you have a bit more time, is just to breathe in for 6 seconds and breathe out for 6 seconds. And you can do this for as long as you want.
One thing I try to do is I set up a little timer. There's a zillion different apps you can do to focus on those 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out breaths. Because I notice the first thing that I do in the morning, I sit down at my computer, look at, 40 different emails, I stop breathing. And I know this because I put on a pulse ox and watch my O2 just go straight down. If I focus on that right from the get-go, I can sort of set myself up for some good habits. I also try to incorporate when I'm working out. I always nasal breathe, and I try to breathe less and increase my tolerance for CO2. But I do Wim Hof's Tumo, I do Kriya, I do some pranayamas. I try to do those a few times a week.
There's also a guided Buteyko breathing exercise. I'll leave a link in the description. If you have about 10 plus minutes to spare, I'd highly recommend trying the Wim Hof breathing method. I'm going to put the description below. Just a warning, it's quite intense.
Fully in. One. Here comes the last one. Fully in. Let him go.
This next one sounds a little bit weird, but hear me out. The idea is you simply cover your mouth up when you go to sleep at night. So I've got my little piece of tape here. I'd be lying if I said I'm not a bit worried about suffocating tonight, but this should be fairly easy just to tear off. Let's see how this goes. My mouth feels a lot better than usual. I did wake up a few times at the night time and have to readjust the plaster, but more or less I felt like that was the best night's sleep I've had in years. I normally wake up with a massive headache. I wake up with my mouth feeling like it has a lot of crap in it, and today that was all gone. And this might be something I do forever. I'm not even joking. This is probably, I might be a bit weird from now on, but I think I might always now sleep with a plaster covering my mouth. I can't remember the last time I felt like that, and all from covering my mouth so that I was forced to breathe through my nose. Now to do this, you only need a tiny piece of tape, this size, the size of my thumb. It's not supposed to force your mouth shut, it's just supposed to keep it in place, and that worked wonders for me. You don't have to put tape all around your face as I've seen other people doing on YouTube. Lastly, I highly recommend you consider surgery. 50% of people have visible damage to their nose and they will need a surgery in order to recorrect it.
So if you know someone that has a deviated septum, you would instantly recommend them get that fixed.
This is what I have. So 75% of the population has a deviated septum that is clearly visible to the naked eye. Talking about surgical interventions are absolutely necessary for a large part of the population.
I had 1/4 of one nostril that was open. My right nostril was useless, like totally closed up. I mean, when I would try to breathe, it would be like, nothing would go through.
That's bad news.
Yeah, I'd go to yoga class. They'd go, breathe through your nose. I'm like, my nose is useless.
If you have any issues getting air going through your nostril, you should definitely consult your doctor around this to make sure you get better breathing as soon as possible. That's it for this video. I promise you, breathing is a game changer. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. But for now, go away and do some of the breathing exercises.